Happy Friday, everybody. With Thanksgiving just a week away, let me start by thanking you for checking in for this week's Friday planning video. Today is November 21st, 2025, and this, of course, is that Friday planning video. So before we get going, let me add that we are only a few short weeks away from the end of the year. Of course, that always brings a lot of angst. Did you get everything done this year? What's left to do before the ball drops in Times Square? Here's one way to keep up. Check in every Friday with me. Starting in the next few weeks, I'll be counting down so many of the things that we've spoken about. And in just 5 or 10 minutes a week with this video, it'll help you check those boxes. And of course, feel free to share this with friends. Let's follow up on last week's video about being ready for retirement with some more details. I want to ask a question. If tomorrow you stopped getting your paycheck, but your bills didn't stop, what would you do? Now, as a financial advisor with over 30 years in the business, I've seen clients confidently build wealth and then pause when it comes to how they're going to turn that wealth into a stream of income. This topic is absolutely core because, as you and I both know, retirement isn't simply a savings goal. As we spoke about last week, it's an income generation challenge. And if we don't plan for that properly, clients can unexpectedly find themselves short. So today I want to share real life planning angles and end with 3 action steps that you can take this weekend to move the needle. So let's dive in. Let's start with your expenses. You should treat retirement like a new job. Now, for many, that is, of course, cringeworthy. But think about this. It's a job that you have a lot of control over. You may actually like going to work on this job. Now, that's for those who don't love what they do now, like I do. So starting with your expenses, just because you're no longer working, your expenses don't go away. You still have groceries and utilities and taxes and insurance and car repairs and health bills. We know what it is. And even travel and hobbies possibly. So what should you anticipate paying each month for retirement? List those must-pay expenses, those taxes and essentials, and then list your want-to-pay expenses like travel and hobbies and gifts. And then, of course, insert a buffer for the unexpected, like repairs and health costs and inflation. Here's a quick anecdote. I had a client who told me, oh, once the mortgage is paid off, it'll be fine. But when we mapped out their utilities, maintenance, and their second home and rising healthcare premiums, there was still a meaningful gap. It's not just about living cheaper. It may be about living differently. But you've still got to quantify it, and you have to plan for it. Recognize that Social Security alone isn't going to replace that paycheck. According to a recent Kiplinger article, an average Social Security replaces about 40% of your pre-retirement salary. Now, this is what I hate about averages. This can be all over the place. So please go to the Social Security website, pull down your report that will project your check. There will likely be a gap, and if you assume Social Security covers everything, you risk underplanning. This means that your retirement income stack has to be built deliberately. Now consider Social Security, guaranteed income, whether that's annuities or pensions if you have one, portfolio withdrawals and investment income, maybe even possible part-time work or passion income. In this list is income annuities. Now we've touched on this a lot. They're not for everyone and do not belong in every plan, but the income guarantee from the insurance companies is a conversation that we can have. If you had a job today that paid you each month, would you just hope that employer showed up? No, you'd expect a contract or direct deposit. That's how we should view retirement income. It needs structure, it needs reliability, and it needs monitoring. Now, most of the population today doesn't have a pension anymore, so they need to create their own. Let's look at treating income planning as ongoing, not as one and done. Once we get your income plan in place, you shouldn't just see it and set it and forget it. Review it regularly, adjust for changes in goals and market conditions. Retirement income is more like driving a car than parking a car. When you stop working, you don't just park the car and expect it to stay in perfect shape. You keep driving, you monitor the fuel, you change the oil, you respond to weather or traffic conditions. Let's build an annual income check review. You hear this from me in almost every meeting. Are we meeting the income target? Has spending changed? Are inflation or healthcare projections changing? Is the investment portfolio behaving as expected? Do we need to adjust withdrawals, shift more to guaranteed income, or revise the lifestyle plan? Circumstances change. Sometimes goals change. Travel more. We're going to wait and downsize later. Sometimes markets change. Sometimes health status change. The plan must evolve. So let's recap. First, get clear on expenses and target retirement income. Second, don't count solely on Social Security. Build a real income stream. And third, review, adjust, and monitor. Retirement income is dynamic, not static. Planning with intention beats hoping for the best. When you ask, what will replace my paycheck? You turn the abstract into concrete. You move from an uncertainty to action. The geography may differ, the tax rules may vary, but the fundamentals are the same. We're managing assets, income, longevity risk, and lifestyle. This isn't just for the immediate pre-retirement group. It's for anyone who wants confidence that their money will work for them, not the other way around. As promised, here are some action steps for the next week. Pull together the last 12 months of spending and estimate the next 20 or 30 years. Estimate Social Security benefit and identify that gap between that and your income target. Schedule an annual income review meeting in your calendar, including updates on guaranteed income options, inflation assumptions, and portfolio performance. Now, as I close out, I'll send you back to the weekend. Please remember, you don't retire from life, you retire to whatever comes next. Now, let's make sure that your income plan is built to support that to whatever comes next, intentionally, thoroughly, and in partnership. Have a great weekend. I'll be back next Friday with our next planning video. Until then, stay grounded, stay focused on your plan, and let's keep planning.